And I'm here today with my friend Mark Avalos of SLAB BBQ, and we're just going to talk with him and find out a little bit more about what makes his restaurant amazing. There's a lot of barbecue in Austin, right? Yep. What is it that makes your spot stand out?
06, 05 is when I had this idea of creating a concept that was going to be centered around two things. Number one was my love of hip hop. One of the first regulations of music that I remember listening to was the Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. That was back in the 70s, and that kind of stuck with me, that genre of music. One of my first concerts was at Houston at the Summit. It's called the Swatch Watch Festival. It had people like Houdini, the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Salt and Pepper. I mean, it was, you know, all straight up hip hop. And when I wanted to create this concept, I wanted to highlight that genre because I just love the realness and the genuineness of rap and hip hop. And I was like, so surprised that nobody was embracing it, but I was like, man, I'm not going to shy away from it. I know that it hasn't really been presented with barbecue here in Texas, but you know, I wanted to make sure that I was real to who I was. And so the other part of it was the barbecue sandwiches. You know, again, most Texas barbecue restaurants, it's, you know, they're serving you up a 3-meat, 2-side plate. And for me, I was like, man, I want to do something different. You know, I really enjoy sandwiches. And like, I'm that guy that goes to the restaurants, to the barbecue restaurants, and I'll grab those slices of bread that they give you. And I was the guy making sandwiches. Just like when I go to Mexican restaurants, if they give me tortillas, I'm going to make tacos. And so that's the other thing. It's going to be barbecue sandwiches and hip hop. And so that's what makes us a little different, is that you can't come in here and order a 2-meat, 3-meat plate. And again, I just wanted to make it different because I love a sandwich where in one bite you can get so many different flavors and so many different textures. And the other part of it is, you look at the menu, we have items like the Notorious PIG, the Texas OG, the Texas Trill, the Chicken WA, all paying homage to hip hop.
It's clear even when you walk into the restaurant, how different it is from your kind of traditional like oak stacked on the wall, you know,
sure.
old pitmaster, that kind of thing.
No, I mean, even, you know, you highlighted, it's like there's graffiti on the walls. You know, we worked with a local graffiti artist here in town. There's a local graffiti artist group, Spray ATX. I mean, they did everything. This should take you back to a backyard barbecue. I mean, for me, that's how this all got started, right? I mean, I just had these barbecues in the backyard, and for me, I would always want to create this fun atmosphere. I always had like a little playlist going that I had burned off of Napster or whatever, and you know, I'd have this playlist playing, and then I'd have the grill going, you know, or the smoker going, and I'd just have my friends over, you know, and that's what I wanted to create, and that's what me and my partner wanted to replicate, is like this feeling of like coming in and you immediately get the vibe of like, man, I want to hang out here. You know, you hear the music in the background, you know, and it's like, and it's music that you can relate to, that you've heard before, and then you see the menu, and the menu makes you smile. And that's, to me, the big part about just going out to eat. Is an experience, right? I mean, sometimes, yes, you just want to get in, grab something to eat, and get out. But for us, you know, we love it when people just want to hang out, you know, and they just want to just bring their friends over. Like, hey, come check this place out. Because that's how it was when I was doing barbecues. I mean, I would like, hey, man, I'd call somebody up, hey, guys, we're having a barbecue, come on over. And it's that same feeling here at SLAB, which stands for slow, low, and banging, by the way. That Houston reference. So
I hear you on all the kind of motivation that you did, but like, as a business owner, is it scary at all to do something that's like different from the norm?
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing about us is that I started in a trailer, right, in a food trailer at the University of Texas. And so I had at one point 3 trailers that I was running. I was actually one of the very first food trailers at the university. There was, I think it was the egg roll guy, and then was us. And so I had I was able to test it on the students, you know, and my concept, I was like, man, you know, let me see what happens in a smaller scale. And so I built this loyal clientele so that when we open these doors, I mean, at this Burnett Road location, we had 1,300 people in line ready to try us out. And I think it's that difference, because we're so different, that people were kind of really dug that about us, that we weren't afraid to show who we really were. I mean, that's the thing, is that this is not called Mark's Barbecue for a reason. It's not about me, it's about the whole experience. And so was it scary? Absolutely, especially here in Texas, man, this is crazy, right? I mean, Texas is all about country music. It's all about the straight plate, you know, the 3 meat 2 sides. And here I come throwing, you know, the ghetto boys, like you said, and sandwiches, you know, called the Chicken WA or the, you know, the Texas Trill. So at the beginning, people were like, what is going on here? But then they're like, this is actually really good. But then they're like, I kind of like this place. And so, and because of that, you know, we've had some notoriety here. I mean, we've been on shows like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. We've been on Man vs. Food. We've been written up, you know, Texas Monthly, Austrian Chronicle, you know, Statesman. I mean, they've done pieces about us because we're different, you know, and that's what I embrace. Is I embrace, hey man, this is not traditional by any means. Not that I don't love traditional, because I absolutely do. But this is my spin. This is what I want to present you. This is me and who I am.
What's the most popular dish here?
Whew. So that's the cool thing, is that I love watching people order one thing and then they'll come back the next time and try something else. If you were to say what's most popular, probably the nachos are a big thing. Thrillist actually voted us top 28 nachos in America. And the other one is the McDowell, which that one was one of the sandwiches that Guy Fieri wanted to try when he was here, is a McDowell. And if you think about that name, the McDowell, it's a play on Coming to America. They had their McDowell versus McDonald's, and for us, McDonald's obviously has the McRib, we have the McDowell. So we smoke these ribs to a point where, you know, we can kind of take the rib out, because, you know, we want to make sure that we can take the ribs out, the bones out, and then keep the rib meat intact.
So it even keeps that
right,
shape.
it takes like the shape, and so it's not like we're like slicing every rib and then no, we keep it all intact.
You mentioned a big part of it is a place to just hang out. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, food is part of it, but hanging out is part of it too.
Right.
How have you guys been affected over this last year?
Sure. You know, we brought that food truck experience back, and so each location, when we were forced to close, you know, due to COVID, we put the food trucks out front. And so it just reminded people like, hey, number one, hey, we're still here. We're still here. You know, and then that food truck, it brought a sense of familiarity that people were like, knew, like, okay, cool, man. We know this drill. We're gonna go up and we're gonna order from the food truck, man. And it made people feel good, like, man, okay, you know, things are gonna be all right. This is just a transition, you know, but that's okay. We'll go back to our roots. We go back to our roots. And so, thankfully, you know, we got through, you know, and we were open the doors, you know. But then what would also, things that we added were, now we have this outdoor location, this little tent out front, and it got people to enjoy the outdoors also. And so, in some ways, you know, it helped speed up, you know, accelerate some of the things that we wanted to add. And, you know, thankfully we made it through, man. We made it through. And we do everything on the back end the same way that your traditional barbecue places may do. I mean, we smoke everything over pecan and oak. We smoke everything fresh every day. We make sides fresh every day. Sauces are made in-house. Sauces we sell in-house. You know, and so, again, we do things a little different. We present it to you a little differently, but on the back end, it's all the traditional stuff. I mean, that's how I learned. That's how I always joke. I learned, you know, I'm self-taught, but I learned that, hey, it's slow smoke, and, you know, that's the right way to do it. Everything, you know, we're smoking for 10 to 12 hours. Ribs take 3 to 4 hours, and so, you know, we're doing things the right way. So come check us out.
Hey everyone, let's thank Mark for hanging out with us today, and we're at his Burnett Lane location. So come check them out. They've got a big they've got a big patio area, and they've got some sandwiches for you to try.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on.